Hi guys. Okay, so I thought I'd do like a few videos on questions that I've got. So the question that I'm going to answer today is how I know personally, you could take from it what you want, but how I know personally if this is my soulmate. And sorry guys. Today is basically the anniversary of my husband's death. Then I'm filming this at. Probably not the best day to film this on, but yeah. Exactly 3 years ago today, my husband passed away. So, it would be in a week's time that I'd be burying him, which is hopefully when I plan to go visit the cemetery. Anyway, ignore that. Back to more happy issues. You would be glad to hear I'm kind of on the up from my whole depressing period, or that little funk that I was going through. Midlife crisis or whatever it's called. It's not midlife crisis because I have it like once, 2, 3, 4 times a year, so obviously not that. But yeah, I'm kind of over it, and I know it's so cliched to say this, but it genuinely was on the up when I started to pray. And although it didn't happen straight away, so I started praying, forcing myself to pray, because my heart, like my soul wasn't really in it. I was just like, you know what, this is the right thing to do, I've got to do it. So I was forcing myself to pray, and in the beginning I was finding it a bit difficult, so I kind of like prayed so hard. I was like, please God, make this easier for me. I know it's supposed to be easy and I know I'm wrong that I've left it to build up this much, but please, please, please make it easier for me. Like, amongst all the favours that you've bestowed upon me, just do me this favour as well, please. And literally, I swear to God, I found myself, like, do you know how difficult it is to pray when you're not praying? I found myself remembering to pray, and the process of praying was so easy, when before it was such a kind of, not a burden, but it was such a chore. It was like, oh, I've got to go and do this, and then what to fill in my day. For that period that I was just praying for it to be easy, it just got so, I found myself like just kind of like just it falling into place. I was praying, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go pick up, I'll just pray before I go, or I'll do, like, it was just falling into my plan. So thankful. And then it got hard again. It's almost as if God kind of like took off the training wheels. I think God paved the beginning of the road for me. He was like, you can pave the rest on your own, mate. So that's where I am now. But I am, alhamdulillah, I'm sticking with it. It is on off still, but when it's on, it's on. But yeah, anyway, I thought I would talk quickly about how I realised, you know, my late husband was my soulmate, in that maybe, like, so I've had questions saying, how do you know someone's your soulmate, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, you know, what better than to relate it to my story, and people can pick up from that, if that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, so obviously you guys know that I met my husband on Tinder. Both weren't that religious, hence it was Tinder, not Minder, almost match. And yeah, we kind of had our first date on one day, and I kind of didn't really leave his side-ish within reason. Or not, I don't know. What are we talking about? I don't know. Be quiet than that. I didn't really leave his side for like 4 or 5 days, and my mum was like, what the hell is going on? Where are you all this time? And like, what the hell? Like, seriously. And I was just like, Mama, trust me. I remember telling her one day, I'm like, to Mama, just trust me. Just wait, give me a couple of days. And I think that was like 3rd day in. That's when I knew. I think if you have that feeling towards someone, that's kind of the beginning signs that it is possibly your soulmate. Like, I would not ever turn around and say, Mama, just trust me. And like, I would only say that if I kind of secured something really big in my head. It's not like, trust me, this is the right guy for me. It's like, trust me, I'm about to get married kind of thing. So yeah, so 2 days later, after that phone call, I got her to meet him. And just seeing him, just the way he kind of carried himself, it was just literally like me. He was literally me. He was the male version of me. He was very, very easy to talk to. You could put him in any group of people and he would just adapt. Very, 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 very versatile, which is a bit like me-ish when I'm not being socially awkward. But yeah, and then 3 days later, after that, we were married. We had our Islamic marriage, our nikah. To be honest with you, with someone who isn't your soulmate, you wouldn't, unless it's an arranged marriage obviously, you would not ever have the courage to kind of jump into a decision like as big as marriage that quickly. I think that's another massive telltale sign. If you're feeling like you're that ready to get married, that's a big, big sign. Obviously it's not the only sign. I'm going to give you more reasons but why my soulmate was my soulmate. But yeah, these things, you can't ignore them. These are kind of telltale signs when you're feeling like no reservations, no doubts. Doubts are the biggest kind of sign from your instinct and your conscience kind of to tell you stay clear. And probably from God as well. You know, God gives us our instincts. God gives us our feelings, that gut feeling that you have that you should never ever ignore. God gives you that. So yeah, where you have this person that you don't have any negative gut feelings about or no doubts whatsoever and no like, I wonder why he does this or I wonder why he said that. When you have someone like that, I think that's when you know as well. That's another, I'm literally like, and that's another sign. And that's another sign. But anyway, yeah, it's very difficult to say because it's genuinely when you feel it, you'll know that everything before it wasn't real or wasn't the one kind of thing. So this feeling of complete comfort around this person or towards this person that you kind of don't care if they know your deepest, darkest secrets because you know it's not going to change how they feel about you. As such, it's that ability to completely be your true self with that person. That person would make you feel like you are the most beautiful thing in this planet, even though you know you're not. Like, yeah, I know I'm a potato, but this person makes me feel like I'm Kim Kardashian or whatever. I don't know, someone else that you find really beautiful, whatever. So it's that feeling. It's the feeling that whatever issue, look, with marriage, there's always going to be, no matter how like you are, no matter how similar you are, there's always going to be issues that you don't quite agree on, and there's always going to be problems that will come up, okay? And I genuinely believe this, that any two people can work, any two people, if they're both open to compromise, because it's kind of a give and take within a marriage. Like you kind of really have to pick and choose your battles, ones that you cannot let go of and ones that you can, and vice versa. You'd hope that the person that you're with kind of fits that like a jigsaw, so the ones that you're not willing to let go on he is, and the ones that you are willing to let go on he isn't. So kind of like that. That's my view that any marriage or any two people, that's my view that any two people can actually work with compromise. Now, any two people can work, but it does not necessarily mean that they are soulmates. Soulmate is not just, you know, your life together, or also includes the intimate side of things. So most normal girls have body issues, like body image issues. So I'm like one of those people. So generally I am very, very kind of how do I say it without giving out too much detail? Like I'm just generally like, let's just keep the lights up for now kind of person. However, when you're around this person that's your soulmate, you literally, like, I can't, that stems as well from the whole fact they make you feel like you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Like when you're around that person, like you just don't care. Like, I won't even give too much away, but like when I was married to my late husband, like literally we were in each other's kidneys and the level of closeness that we had was disgusting. But can I say something? I've always, with both my marriages, I've always kind of had this no gas policy. I know, I hear like a lot of women say that it's really okay to like, you know, burp or pass gas from your derriere in front of their husbands, and I'm just like, I know you can't go on with this whole like notion that women don't pass gas, but like there's no need to remind them. Like, I just think it's disgusting. I know a lot of people do it, so I'm not judging. Personally, I would never ever do it with a guy. I would never ever bap so casually if a guy, even if it was a guy friend. I would never ever pass wind, ew, in front of my husband. Like, I rarely do it for my friends. I can't. In fact, I don't really do it for my friends either. I can't do it. It's just not something that I don't know. Anyway, so I think things like that, even though like I'd be so comfortable doing it, I wouldn't. But anyway, so just that whole like feeling of like comfortableness and just kind of like very, very comfortable in your own skin. Like the way that I would kind of prance around in our house was kind of unreal when you kind of compared it to my body image of myself. Like, you're like, considering you think you're a hippopotamus, this is not the kind of behaviour you should be kind of doing. But being around that one person that is your soulmate, like none of that matters. Like, you're literally at one with each other. You are at one with each other. That's the person that you choose to be with. Like, you're kind of like, it's very kind of unagi. Like, you're very at one in your thought process. Even though you're not thinking the same thing at the same time, when the other person kind of makes that suggestion was gonna come out of the other person anyway, or something similar. Like, or they accept the suggestion so like kind of smoothly. Like, it's always kind of that ease of being with a relationship, that feeling of no effort, where you could just be, and there's no awkwardness, there's no awkward silence, there's no like, oh, I got to do this. And like, don't get me wrong, when I was married to my husband, I would always like try and do stuff. Like, I'd go like get new outfits, or I'd do like, not like outside outfits obviously, home outfits, but like I'd kind of like it's not sugarcoat it, lingerie, anyways, but still, like, I'd be thinking about that. It's not like you kind of let go and you just don't want to like you're just not bothered to try anymore because you're so comfortable with that person. It's not about that. It's about still trying where it matters. Like, those little things to make that person feel, your soulmate, feel like you're actually still trying for them. However, being with your soulmate, you feel like even if you didn't try everything perfect, but you still kind of want to. You know that feeling that you want to? You know that's with someone that you love to a massive degree. If you're doing that, and if you're still there years down the line, then you're so lucky. That feeling that what you want to do, like, you want to cook for him, like, it's not a chore. You want to cook for him. You want to dress up for him. You want to like clean the house for him and make sure he just, wherever he is, he's like, that feeling that you feel, that I got with my late husband. And that is what it is, feels like. That is what I feel like I can make this comparison because I've loved before. I've loved what I believed to be the love of my life during that period. Obviously, you guys know. But being with your soulmate, basically that being, that presence and that existence of relationship becomes so much easier. It becomes literally no more effort. That coexisting is no more effort. That kind of communicating and that kind of like relationship is no more effort. You're almost like, it's almost like you're with yourself. Imagine having a best friend. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, that some people like might be like, oh no, you know, I don't want a best friend as a husband, but I think having a best friend as a husband is kind of the peak of where you want to be in having a relationship. You could love a guy, you could be so attracted to a guy, but for them to be your best friend as well, that's when I think you're bordering on the whole soulmate train. Anyway, there's probably 70% of women that aren't with their soulmate. But they're in like marriages where they love their partner and their partner loves them. I don't know. Personally, I couldn't just be in love and someone loves me. Like, I would need that friendship to keep things going. There's just no oomph. I don't think there's any oomph. There's just no, I don't know, spark. Well, there is, and probably think there is, but, and I've seen it. Like, I've seen people around me. I've seen people that get married that aren't in love, and I see people that get married that are in love, but that isn't their soulmate, and you could tell. Another thing as well is Mom always told me, she goes to me, there are certain men that you should never ever be with. And that is a jealous man. And I'm not talking about nice jealousy, protectiveness, not that. What was it? In Arabic, we call it ghira. I'm not talking about ghira. Ghira is great. If your man doesn't have ghira, start to kind of reassess the situation. But ghira is that kind of protectiveness that, not he's so jealous that he doesn't want any man to, like, he's just like, you're his, and he's so proud of the fact that you're his, and he kind of doesn't want to share that to some degree. Like, it's a nice kind of feeling. It's not overstepping the boundaries. The minute it oversteps the boundaries is when it's a bit more kind of obsessive, a bit more controlling. That's when that's the kind of man you should avoid. A jealous, very, very jealous, and illogically irrational, jealous person, avoid. Next kind of man that you should definitely avoid is a stingy person. I think that's probably, that for me is my biggest pet peeve. I can't be with someone stingy. I literally cannot. It's like literally the ugliest trait ever. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I just find it ugly. I've seen people that are stingy, and then the way that they treat their family and their household is a bit like, I just wouldn't be able to live like that. Without going into too much detail, but like, they're just not, I don't know, you think, how can a man be stingy on his own family? But it happens, believe me. But if you don't, it doesn't happen, or if you've never heard of it, then you're lucky that you've not come across such a man. But anyway, if you do come across such a man, avoid, obviously. And then the final thing is an angry man. Avoid an angry man. Someone who's angry, who cannot control his temper. You know, it's not someone who's going to be good. It's going to be someone who's going to be the best kind of ingredient to make a toxic relationship. And while some toxic relationships are nice, they're passionate, but others are a bit more destructive. So an angry man, all we're talking about really is someone who can lose his temper to the point that he could raise his hands, or someone who not even raise his hands, someone who's not in control of their temper. Like, they don't have like a mechanism to be like, you know what, just relax, this girl is testing me, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna go take a walk around the house. If they're not able to do something like that, or something similar, whatever it is, if they haven't got a coping mechanism, or if they haven't got a defense mechanism to cope with your constant like pushing, and look, let's face it, women always push. Like, when we fight, we're just gonna keep pushing buttons, because generally we're feeling insecure, we're not feeling loved, or we just want to feel like they care enough to get angry over stuff that we say. So we'll say like the worst things, and that's why our mouths are so violent. They're more violent than hitting sometimes. But anyway, so you kind of want a man that's able to put up with your poisonous mouth. You want a guy that is able to deal with your strops and your tantrums, basically. So that's the dream. But obviously if you don't have that, then the next best option is at least a person that can control his temper, not switch. Because let's be real, like, us women, we can like push a lot of buttons and we can give people a lot to switch at. But the hope is that the person doesn't switch to do something that they will then regret. Whether it's raise their hands, whether it's literally leave you, like, you just don't want to be in that situation. So yeah, not an angry person. I think those are the three main things. I'm sure there are others if I thought about them, but those are the three main things that I would kind of avoid right now. Okay, so I hope you've managed to pick up anything or something from this video. I kind of just like, I literally just got home and I was like, you know, let me just try and film something. I don't know what about. Then as soon as I sat in front of the camera, I thought, let me just answer this question that I've been asked a few times. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, and don't forget to turn on post notifications. Thank you. Bye.